few weeks ago in Lekki Palm City, here in Ajah, some people's houses, life savings, worth millions of naira were brought down like they meant nothing. Imagine houses that are worth 150 million, 250 million, 300 million, and even 400 million were brought down just like that. And this is people's, hard-earned money were brought down just like that. The most painful part of this was it wasn't because the land was illegal. It wasn't because the documents on the land were fake. This was just because the buildings were structurally sick. Can you imagine this? In situations where developers were supposed to do the right thing, this didn't just happen probably because they didn't get the right approval, they didn't get the right documents, just because the structures were sick. This is just unimaginable. These buildings actually looks very beautiful from the outside, but looking at it from the inside, the buildings were bent, risky and unsafe. One of the painful things is that these buildings were built close to the sea. They were sand-filled, but they were not given proper time for it to settle before the construction commenced. The foundation never truly rested, and over time, the building started to bend. But instead of stopping and fixing it right, some developers rushed. And why is this? Because they wanted to build, sell, make money, and move over onto the next project. And this happened because it is not because they care about integrity, but because they care mostly about profits. And the people who paid the price for this are not the developers, not even the marketers, but you, the investor. You, the investors out there, every hardworking Nigerians who are trying to create something for themselves are the ones that paid the price for this. So today, I am not here to sell you land. I am here to protect you. I am here to protect your interests and teach you some of the critical things, some of the basic things you need to watch out for before you throw your money into a project. And this is because I never want to see you one day standing helplessly by the roadside, watching what you worked so hard for, what you labored so hard for, being taken away from you helplessly. And I hear so many investors say this all the time, that lawyer fee is too expensive, engineer is too costly, I can't afford all this due diligence. And imagine, you are spending millions of naira to acquire a property that you cannot even afford at least a few amount of the money to do a due diligence. Now, I want you to tell me this. Is lawyer expensive or losing your 200 million property expensive? Is an engineer more costly or watching your property of over 400 million naira go down the drain? A lot of people try to save small money and end up losing big money. Your realtor may be very professional, but no matter how experienced he or she is, that shouldn't stop you from hiring a lawyer or a structural engineer to help in your due diligence. Your realtor markets, your lawyer protects you, and your engineer saves your life. So before you sign documents, before you listen to sweet talk, I want you to do 3 things. Always do 3 things. Number 1, you need to hire a professional lawyer that will help you in due diligence. Number 2, get a professional structural engineer that will help you carry out a due diligence on the structure. And the last thing you need to ask for, always ask for an indemnity clause in the contract you are signing that will protect you and your money. Because in real estate, paint can hide cracks, beauty can lie, and silence can cost you everything. Now, I want this to be clear to you. I want to say this. It is not all developers that are bad. Some developers still keep their integrity, because inside this same estate, some structures were okay, standing right, with no any structural defects. The lesson learned in this demolition is not don't invest. Don't get it wrong. The lesson learned here is invest wisely. If you're investing in Ajah, Lekki, Lekki Phase 1 area, don't just buy property. Buy safety, buy structure, and buy peace of mind. I do advise personally that investors who want to buy houses should invest in what we call off-plan projects. Off-plan projects will enable you to monitor your building right from the foundation level to the finished level. In an off-plan project, they are not just building one or two. They build an estate as a whole where you can always monitor the foundation of your house, from the foundation of your house to the finished level of your house. You can also send your structural engineer to personally monitor the building of the estate from the foundation to the finished level. And if you discover anything that you are not satisfied with, you can easily call the attention of the developer, or better still, you ask for the fund. Buildings that are already finished, don't get me wrong, I'm not kicking against it. Some investors don't even want to start building from the beginning. They don't want to go through the stress of building from the foundation to the completion. They just want to come buy into a house that has been completed already. We understand that. But with off-plan projects, you can easily monitor everything going on in your projects. So you see the material being used for you, you see the structural growth, you completely see the process of the construction. Unlike a finished project that you cannot even know or ascertain what is in the foundation. Those kind of structures, they hardly stand the test of time. But if you must buy such structure, make sure you do your due diligence. One, you go there with your structural engineer to monitor the whole thing for you, to actually do a due diligence on what the building is standing on and if the building can actually stand this test of time. Your realtor cannot do everything for you. A realtor is experienced in telling you what is viable in terms of location and also help you to work on prices so that you can get the best price. For them to do due diligence for you or determine what the structure or the defect or deficiency in the building is, they cannot tell you this. I've even gotten to the level of seeing some investors telling their realtor to do due diligence on their behalf. This is like, putting yourself in a very, very big risk, because a realtor that is willing to sell can tell you they've done due diligence, whereas they did not even do any due diligence. Always do things yourself. Don't say a lawyer is too expensive. Out of the money you are using to buy a house, a little token shouldn't be too much for you to pay your lawyer or your structural engineer. My name is John Emwabino, and this is where I'm going to be ending this video for now. One thing I just want to leave you with is that your money is too hard-earned for it to be buried under someone else's greed. Don't forget to like, don't forget to share, and if you find this content interesting, subscribe and be a member of this family. Bye for now. See you on the next one.